You've been very vocal in criticizing Bernie Sanders, which has surprised many of your passionate devotees. What is wrong with Sanders in your view? Why are you so critical of what he's doing and what he's still doing?
Okay, so first, and I guess the obligatory disclaimer. I mean, given a...
I'm not asking you to endorse anyone. I'm trying to explain to you why you're anti-endorsing someone.
Right, and there's nothing, right? If Sanders versus Trump would not be a hard decision to make, let's say. But so a lot of people assumed that because I'm very much a liberal, that I would go for the candidate who was the most liberal sounding in the primary. The trouble is, there's something that's from my point of view. It's not just a matter of liberal good, conservative bad. It's also careful, hard thinking good, facing up to hard choices good, wishful thinking, fantasy bad, and. From the beginning, it was kind of obvious to me, and I think became even more clear over time, that the Sanders campaign was really animated by the belief that being on the right side excused you from really having to do hard thinking. That if you said Wall Street is bad and the big banks are bad, that excused you from asking, well, what exactly does financial reform have to do? What did go wrong in 2008? And if you looked at that hard, it wasn't just the big banks. If you asked, what kind of healthcare system should we have? Well, everybody I know in the healthcare field who wants reform would go for single payer, would go for a Medicare type system for everybody. But the question is not, is that what you want, but what do you think you can actually do? What do you think can happen? So there was a lot of cutting of corners on the part of the Sanders campaign and the Sanders supporters, but let's just focus on the campaign. And a general tendency to say, well, if you're not with us, that must be because you're corrupted. And that's not the kind of thing I like to associate myself with. So I found it pretty upsetting. And then in the course of the campaign, of the primary campaign, there was a fair bit of just sniping at Hillary Clinton, who is far from perfect on many fronts, but is also overwhelmingly likely to be the Democratic nominee. And at some point, you have to ask: at what point are you realistically advancing your cause, and at what point are you increasing the chance that someone really, really bad is going to be in the White House?